and put it over a projection for that stuck down below the tanks for dumping the gasoline.
You didn't want that damn gasoline streaking along the fuselage.
Yeah, very good.
Oh yes. And also that also kept it from blowing back in, because those holes around those dump lines never did stay sealed. They left the factory sealed, but with operation,
that's right. There would be a vacuum there,
and the guns always loosened up, so you had to get a vacuum in there to pull things out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, should we go get her?
Very good. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything.
Not around engine.
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
Okay, Herb, then let's go ahead.
I'm getting my focus right now.
Okay. I'll give you easy questions.
Okay, maybe I can answer, maybe I can't.
Do the best you can, and that's all. Don't worry about it.
When in doubt, lie.
Hey, no.
Yeah, think of something.
All right. We have now met Herb Horn here with us. And Herb, I would like to know when you first became interested in aviation or airplanes. Do you remember?
Not quite, but every little boy is always interested in airplanes.
And when did you see your first airplane, or did you learn to fly?
Well, I took part lessons in flight because of the fact that brother and I bought a Thunderbird.
What engine?
What engine?
OX5.
You're an OX5 member.
No, never joined up to anything.
But you qualified. You qualified.
Yeah.
When did you go to Lockheed?
I think, as I remember, it was 1927.
How did you find out about the company?
Working at Douglas Company at the time that can't think of his name.
Tony?
Donald Douglas or
No,
Stadelman?
Stadelman.
You knew Tony Stadelman?
Yes.
Did you see him at Douglas first?
Yes, that's the first time I seen him. He was in charge of tubing department.
was
Yeah,
he a Mormon?
yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Like, you know, see, you know.
He's a Mormon.
Yeah, but I know definitely you made me the offer because I was losing so much time driving all the way down to Westlake Park, practically, on 7th and in Alvarado, and driving back and forth working those hours, so it worked out very good for me.
You got another hour of sleep every day.
Yeah.
I bet you three got together and did a lot of figuring out things, too.
Oh,
but
we
you
did. Very
fine.
good, yes. Herb confided me in quite a bit what the next day's planning would be and all that, and we rode back and forth to work together.
Marvelous.
In other words, the Three Musketeers would gang up on the Erskine
Yeah.
shop, huh?
That's as good as the three Basolo brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did you stay with Lockheed?
I don't know exactly when I hired in, but they were still over on Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh.
And
No, that's Douglas. That would be Douglas, Herb. She said Lockheed. Yeah. How long did you stay with Lockheed?
Did you retire from Lockheed?
no, I went from Lockheed over to Western Air Express.
What were they making?
Airline.
Western Air Express was an airline, mail, and light packages. They used the Douglas D2.
They also carried passengers, didn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, one at a time.
That's when they were using a plane part way across the United States, and then a train part way, and a plane part way, and a train part way.
Yeah, they had some of your Douglases over there, probably that you worked on before you came with Lockheed. You know, that was
Oh,
their
yeah.
special mail jobs. They were just rebuilt or modified O2 observation jobs that they made these mail jobs out of. But I may add, Herb, you know, I left Lockheed in April 29, and then a short stay at Bach Aircraft before they had a pretty serious fire in June, and then they ceased to operate in October, and I joined up with Aero Corporation, which was Jack Fry was the head, and then when you were with Western Air, we got into financial trouble, and Western Air took us over. And remember, here about 6 months later, we were working together for a short time over on Western Avenue at AeroCorp. Like, you know, you were with Western Air.
Yeah.
We were both of us with Western Air all together again. But that was only for a short spell, and I think you left Western Air before TWA was formed, didn't you? Because at that following August in 1930, Western Air and TAT got together, and part of Western Air was Kansas City to Los Angeles run was taken in, and Western Air kept Salt Lake and San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco. They kept that out. And you may have stayed with them before you went with Jerry Vultee. I think you went with Jerry Vultee shortly after that.
Didn't Jack Fry start with a Falk or something, a Standard Airlines?
That's right, Standard. That was AeroCorp of California, and they operated Standard Airlines.
Yes,
And
then
we
they
had-
went into
The single-engine Fokkers first.
and
yes,
Universal Fokker, wasn't
Yeah, single-engine Fokker called Fokker Universal with supers. And first had a J5, but then they got several with Wasp, which is super. Then they went to the F-10, which is 3 Wasp job in, and we had 12 of them when Western Air took us over. And Western Air had about 14 or 15 of them. Yeah, they were already going to Kansas City. Los Angeles, Kansas City, San Francisco, San Diego, LA, and San Francisco. So it gave them over 20 altogether, 27, 28. And when we merged with TAT, which was half plane and half train at that time, they had the Fords. They had a total of around 24 Fords, tri-motor Fords. Well, we were very partial to our Fokkers. They were a little faster and a little quieter, and
And that was another all wood.
yeah, that's right. It was all wood and linen-covered steel fuselage, and we did very well with them up until they had a rather serious accident over in down north between Wichita and Kansas City, and quite a few know Newt Rockney.
The football team destroyed?
That's right, yeah. The Newt Rockney, head coach of Notre Dame, happened to be on that flight, and it was later, that was in March 31st, that was March 31st of the 1931, yeah. And
That darn near put Fokker out of business.
that's
didn't it?
right. 1 year later, we discontinued all Fokkers, see, because they would not stand moisture and the high desert heat, the wings, and they developed quite a bit of dry rot, and that's what proved that we lost 7 foot of the wing, and after opening up a couple wings back in Dayton, Ohio, it was discovered there was dry rot in quite a few. And they were made in Holland and brought over here, and then the rest of the airplane was made in Wheeling, West Virginia. And they were very good flying airplane, Herb, you call, and you probably had some flights in that, Herb, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I never will forget the flight in the tri-motor.
Yeah.
It had a puller and a pusher engine.
Oh, that was a F-32. That was the 2 big ones we had.
Yeah.
That was a Fokker F-32.
Took a trip to Frisco in one of them.
Yeah.
And coming back, we had to stop at Bakersfield, and the oil tank sprung a leak and pouring oil all over everything.
They were quite a,
I didn't know whether I was going to get it back home or not.
yeah. They were quite high on maintenance. They were very unsuccessful, that F-32, and one wound up on Wilshire Boulevard, a restaurant.
They used to buy raped. Yeah.
It was a restaurant made out of the fuselage of one of them, would stay on there about 18 years or more. And then the other one we took back to Kansas City, and then being we had it overloaded so much to keep it flying with the extra bracing on, it was down to 15 passengers instead of 32, and they couldn't afford to fly them. So we just broke them up, and that was the end of them. There was 2 back in New Jersey, and they were destroyed later because they were unpractical, economical to operate.
How long were you with Jerry Vultee?
Jerry Vultee? Oh, see, that was the outfit that was in Glendale Airport, the south end of it,
Grand Central there.
Grand Central. And how long was I there? Well, I got in an argument with Rivers, supposedly the boss. We had an engine to install, and we were going along at factory rate just about right. And all of a sudden, I guess Cord wanted to see more action, so he sent out Rivers to take charge. So it wasn't going fast enough. So we were the first ones to try to use stainless steel sheet. And we made a firewall, and couldn't cut any holes in it because the engineer didn't know where the oil lines and so forth was going to go. So he come in and took over, and he said, we're going to put the engine on tomorrow. And I said, well, I told him, I said, you're wrong. I said, let us cut the holes in that stainless steel first. I said, that's going to ruin a lot of our cutters. And no, it's going on tomorrow. And I said, well, if it goes on tomorrow, you put it on. And I walked out. And he come out and he sat in the office with me, and he says, just stop and think a while. He says, don't act too fast. And I said, well, I said, anybody can see the fact that you can't cut stainless steel with a clearance outside area of about 12 inches. And I said, the engine's in the way. If you take the engine out of the way, or we got the holes marked and so forth, and we cut them readily. No, I'm going to leave the engine on. I said, well, you put it on. And I walked out. Walked over and got my tools in the toolbox and so forth, and walked out, and he said, you sure you're not going to think it's over? And I said, I've already thought it over. I got myself another job. I said, I don't have to take the poor man's.
Here happens to be two pictures of that, Herb. That Jerry Voltee is down in Glendale there. There's two pictures of it. Like, how many did they build units altogether there? Was it 12 or 14? Somebody instructed me.
Close to you,
Yeah, these two pictures here.
I don't know exactly, because I left there, and I left all the action in his hands, and another fella who was always edging up to me, you know, trying to get another raise and so forth. He appointed him foreman of the shop to put the engine on, and I think it turned out a little rougher than he actually figured. So by that time I was already working for Howard Hughes. Yeah.
What did you do at Howard Hughes?
Built the tanks, the cowling.
What plane?
The Racer, #1.
Oh, F1 there.
Is that the one he cracked up?
No, that's hanging up in the museum up in Washington. Up with the, what is the other metal plane?
With the two sets of wings? With two sets of wings?
No,
No, monoplane.
there's only one set.
Yeah, this was the one that had the flush riveting, the smooth riveting, no rivet head sticking out.
Yeah, that's the only one he ever built.
That happened to be the first airplane that had that in the United States.
Certain parts they would, like in the stabilizer or something like that, where it didn't get too much strain. But he stored the thing for I don't know how long in New York airport. And
After his record flight,
yeah.
or before? After his record flight?
After his record flight to Washington included setting it down on the runway and so forth, and hauling it into a partial hangar, and order the tent built around it, and it sat there for 3-4 years, I guess. Then finally, I guess he decided he'd let the Smithsonian have it. So it's hanging up in the Smithsonian now.
Do you follow on there into the 1938 round the world work? Is that it?
Yeah. And I was
You
the
made
only-
quite a few changes on that after it left the factory. It was amazing.
Yeah, we put heavier, I guess you'd call it the inserts of bar strength on the